Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a bronzer comparison. So I have all my bronzers here, the powders and the creams, and I'm going to be doing a swatch and comparison of all of my bronzers. I have 8 cream bronzers and then 10 powder bronzers that I will be swatching. I'm going to start off with the powders, then move on to the creams. So stay tuned if you want to see all the swatches and comparisons. So starting off with, I have the Nude by Nature Matte Bronzer. This is a pressed bronzer. You can tell it's actually pretty warm in tone. It's super pigmented, but it does come off quite warm and orange in my opinion. Next, I have the Burt's Bees Blush in Toasted Cinnamon. This is kind of advertised as a bronzer. Again, it's on the very warm side, has a bit of a shimmery sheen to it. And I'll just swatch that next to the Nude by Nature. It's a little bit lighter in tone, but still quite on the warm side. Next, I have the Clove and Hallow bronzer in the shade San Juan. Again, very, very warm. Once swatched, you can tell this has very little pigment. I have to go in quite a lot to get any color. So this will be good if you are quite fair and don't want to go heavy on the bronzer. Next is a Saint Cosmetics On Cloud 9 bronzer. This is made in Canada. I used to really love this bronzer, though I have a few new favorites. So you can tell it is a nice warm tone, kind of a reddy tone as well. It is very velvety smooth. Like when you put your finger in it, it's super smooth, but swatch kind of comes off a little bit chalky, a little bit powdery. Once blended into the skin though, it feels really smooth and soft, but it can be a little bit challenging to blend because of the powderiness of it. Next is the Lolo Miami Beach Bronzer. This has a lot of hype. This is, I think, the lightest shade of the bronzers. This one also has a little bit of shimmer. Kind of has more of a warm golden yellowy tone. It's not so orange. Next is the Well People Bio Bronzer Powder and Natural Tan. This is only one shade. It also comes in a pressed version now. I don't really use this bronzer a lot just because of the loose powder, but it is very smooth. It almost feels like a really soft setting powder once blended in, and it's very seamless. Adds a very neutral, nice tan. And then the Lolo Sculpt and Glow Duo. I'm showing you the bronzer, or contour I should say, in this duo. This is definitely more on the cool tone in comparison to all the other ones I've swatched so far. It's quite pigmented, definitely more of a cool tone neutral, definitely more of a true brown in comparison to the other ones. Has a teeny bit of a sheen to it, but still really nice. Okay, here's the Fitglow Sculpt Blush. This is meant to be their sculpting bronzer or contour. It's a little bit warm for a contour in my opinion, but I still do really like it for contouring. It is very pigmented, but once you use a fluffy like powder brush, it actually works really well. See, it's a bit warmer and redder tone than the Lolo contour. A new favorite of mine is the Hon Malibu Bronzer. This is a really true cool tone neutral bronzer. It is the most cool tone bronzer I own for powders. Also quite pigmented, and you can see that this is a great cool tone for contouring if that's what you desire. And then I also have the Baked Foundation in Nude by Antonym Cosmetics. And this is a bronzer, well, it's a foundation, but I used it and bought it for bronzing purposes. And I feel like if you are very fair and are having trouble buying a bronzer, this could be a really good option for you. Has a nice sheen to it too. So here are all the powdered bronzers in order of the swatches. And we have 10 powdered bronzers in total. And here are all of them swatched. Now, this Antonym bronzer, or foundation, I should say, is going to be perfect for any fair light tone. And I feel like this Nude by Nature one is just way too dark, way too orange. I don't use it. I really do like these two near the end. Actually, these three. This is the Lolo Contour, the Fitglow Contour, and the Hon Malibu Bronzer. Those are my favorite for contouring. And this one by Clove and Hallow I find is very, lacks pigment. But I also really like the way that the well people turned out, but I just don't reach for it. This one by Saint Cosmetics. I used to love this one, but I don't reach for it as much. But in comparison, I say it's kind of like a warm neutral. But right now, my favorite is the Hon Malibu and the Lily Lolo Contour Duo. So that is all the powders. Time for creams. I really like creams when I'm going for a really natural look. So let's go. Here is the Kjaer Weis Lustrous Bronzer. I just have the pan because it's much more affordable to buy it that way. Now this has quite a lot of shimmer and sheen. I do have to go in for another swatch just to add more pigment so you guys can see. I would say this is quite a ready tone bronzer and it's got a sheen as you can see. Next, the RMS Buriti Bronzer. This has a lot of hype. It is a really nice cream bronzer, but definitely you could tell the RMS bronzers have that shimmery sheen to them. A little bit less when you do swatch them. So in comparison to the Kjaer Weis, you can see it has a bit more of a deep red brick undertone. You can tell that both of these have quite a lot of shimmer and sheen to them, which is a little bit much in the wintertime, but I really do like them for summer bronzers. Next, we have the RMS Contour BRonzer. Have a cooler tone so that you could use it for sculpting and contouring. Again, you can see the heavy shimmer and sheen to it, which makes it a bit challenging for contouring because they're not really supposed to have that shimmer for contouring. But as you can see, it's swatched. It's super deep in tone, much more of a brown color, but again, it's really heavy on the shimmer, which I use it more for bronzing on my eyelids than I do for actually contouring on my face. Though still a very pretty color. Next is the RMS Eye Polish in Seduce, and Rosemary Swift, the founder of RMS Beauty, actually mentioned that she also uses this eye polish for contouring. Has a little bit less of a shimmer to it than the contour bronzer, which is funny in my opinion. I feel like it should have been swapped. But this does actually make a really nice cream contour. Has that cool tone, a little bit less shimmer. But I do have to use my nail just to kind of get that pigment. And then once you blend it in, kind of has a bit of a green undertone in my opinion. Almost reminds me of like a really cool tone, deep, dark tanning mousse, how they have that green undertone to it. Maybe better for olive skin types. Next is the Well People. This is the Bio Bronzer Stick in Natural Tan. This is just the cream stick form of the powdered bronzer they have. This doesn't have any shimmer in it. It's really easy to use because of the stick. You can just kind of stamp this on your face without using a brush or your fingers. Has a bit more of a warm tone to it, but it's very nice on the skin. This is the Rituel de Fille Spellbound Cream Pigment. It is a nice kind of warm brown bronze. Has a bit more of that yellow warm tone to it rather than the reddy tones that you see kind of throughout the other ones. So that is the comparison to the other ones. Next is the Vapour translucent bronzer in Simmer, again with a stick bronzer. I really do like the sticks. I find it super easy to work with. This one has a little bit less pigment. It blends really, really seamlessly. You kind of have to go in a couple times to build up that color. Next, this is the Vapour Atmosphere Luminous Foundation in 135. So this is a stick foundation in a deeper shade. This is actually the Organic Bunny's favorite contour. Mine kind of got a little beat up and it's not really in a stick form anymore, which I don't really know what happened to it. It must have gotten warm and melt. It's a bit thicker because it's meant to be a foundation, so you kind of have to be careful with how much you apply. But it's a nice warm matte bronzer. You're not going to have to worry about shimmer with this one because it's a foundation. So I really like the Well People Bio Bronzer stick, the one I'm pointing to right now. It's one of my favorites. It's super creamy and blends super easily. It's kind of right in that middle tone. I also have been really liking the Vapour Simmer bronzer stick. As of recently, it's a bit more fair and works really well with my skin tone. Now, these three are the RMS products. We have the Buriti, the Contour, and then the Seduce Eye Polish. Very heavy in shimmer compared to the other ones. And then the foundation stick. So you can just kind of, you know, pick a color according to your skin tone. Just go a few shades deeper. And then obviously the RMS Seduce and Contour are the darkest and coolest, and then the Well People's kind of right in that middle range. So here are all of the cream bronzers I own. Alright, you guys, so that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know which are your favorite bronzers that you've seen swatched. If there's a bronzer that you use that you don't see here, let me know what your favorite one is, and I would love to try it out. I'm always on the hunt for new bronzers. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and have a lovely day.